one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. We speak so many languages, have different clothing, different colors, different names. Different is only dangerous. We forget that in the heart we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'i, angels' wings or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, so what power can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's the love that's most deep. It's one power. It's one power. Yeah, it's what we are. One power. One power. One power. It's the power of the love and you and me. One power.
Without a warning, without a sound, we woke up one morning to a world turned upside down. Everything changed in the blink of an eye, dealing with the unknown and trying to survive. We were locked down in our homes, surrounded by bad news every day, watching our lives as we knew it quickly fade away. And when this is all over, in our new reality, we'll be gathered together. Will we still stay apart 6 feet? Will the music be playing like it did before? When this is all over, I'll treasure each day even more. We've been through quite a battle, like none we've ever seen. We kept hoping we'd wake up to find out it was all a bad dream. But that day's never come. It'll be a while yet, with more obstacles to overcome and challenges to be met. We were locked down in our homes, surrounded by bad news every day, watching our lives as we knew it quickly fade away. And when this is all over, in our new reality, when we gather together, will we still stay apart 6 feet? Will the music be playing like it did before? When this is all over, I'll treasure each day even more. We were locked down in our homes, surrounded by bad news every day, watching our lives as we knew it quickly fade away. And when this is all over, in our new reality, when we gather together, will we still stay apart 6 feet? Will the music be playing like it did before? When this is all over, I'll treasure each day even more. And when this is all over, I'll treasure each day even more.
There's a part of me that knows the answer to every question before I ask it. There's a part of you that knows the answer to every question before you ask it. 'Cause we are one. We are one. We are one, and we know what to do. We are one. We are one. We are one, and we know what to do. There's a part of me that knows what to say before I open my mouth to speak. And there's a part of you that knows what to say before you open your mouth to speak. 'Cause we are one, we are one, we are one, and we know what to say. We are one, we're listening. We are one, receiving. We are one as we walk through our day, believing. 'Cause we are one, we are one, we are one, we are one. We know what to do.
I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
I stand for love, I stand for peace, I stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true. I stand for hope, I stand for you.
You know our world is in great pain, she needs our loving care again. But there are those who fail to see what we have done and what we need.
There is a cost for every act, and now there is no turning back. We burn a bridge, we bang a drum. It's time to rise, the time has come to stand for love,
to stand for peace, to stand for joy and for release, for what is beautiful and true, to stand for hope, to stand for you. If you're thinking it's not urgent, that we've got more time to kill, if I'm not the one who'll change things, then for heaven's sake, who will? So I will move, and I will climb that mountain once
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed
Hello and welcome to the People of Diversity Sunday service. We believe there are many paths to one divinity, and to follow that mission we have 9 speakers from 9 different faith perspectives and 10 positive artist musicians. We give them, at the beginning of a series, we give them a one-word topic, and they all go back, work their magic, and send us videos. The speakers send us a talk that has to do with that subject, that topic, from their faith perspective. And we send all these videos to Philip. He puts them together. We have one a week from each faith, and it's an amazing educational, spiritual growth experience. Yeah, I don't know how else to say it.
That was a good one. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So if you would like to join us on this journey, go to www.peopleofdiversity.org and push that donate button. It's a good way to join this community. We pay our speakers, we pay our musicians, we pay Philip to put all this together, and so that's a good way to join the community other than just coming on Sunday and watching. So thank you.
So last week we had Reverend Sue Bailey and Melanie England, our original pod founders. Mm-hmm. And this week we have Dean Martineau and Judi Behrendt, and they are coupled with the incomparable David Roth. And next week we have Muslim Naran Sykes and Jamie Lula, and we're looking forward to that. So you can pick up all past services and notifications for all of these services by joining the pod, or joining the People of Diversity is how you find it on Facebook, People of Diversity, and asking to join both of those pages, and that will give you notifications for not only for these events, but for upcoming events as well. So you were going to say something.
Go ahead.
At 11:45, following the service, we will be joined, hopefully, by Judi and or Dean in our deep dive from 11:45 to 12:15. And then this evening, we have a replay of this service. It's just this same service, reposted at 6 o'clock. That's what we pin to the top of the page for you to come back to through the week or to send someone back to.
Now,
okay.
Speaking of upcoming events, I'm excited.
I can tell. So, speaking of upcoming events, on April 7th, we have our 2-year anniversary of our multi-faith format. And this year, that particular date will be on a Wednesday night. So we have chosen Wednesday night between 7 and 8:30 to do a multi-faith panel. We've asked all of our speakers, and all of them have agreed to join us. Rabbi Pat Hickman will join us by video because it is the first day of the Holocaust Remembrance. Is that, yeah. Mm-hmm. So she'll join us by video. Philip will slip it in there as though she is there with us. But we're really, really looking forward to this. 4 or 5 questions, an opportunity for all the speakers to introduce themselves and their faith. We think it's just going to be a really neat evening. Yeah. And the speakers themselves have been asking for this opportunity too. So again, we're looking forward to it. Save the date and put it on the calendar, and we'll see you then.
Each week we bless a state. So if you have pictures or fun facts about the state we're going to do next week, send them to the email address below, and we'll use them in our state blessing. Next week is South Carolina. So if you have anything about South Carolina, you should send it, because I have family in South Carolina, and I have pictures of me in South Carolina. So
Thousands of them.
If you don't want to see that, then send me something from South Carolina, all right? This week we are blessing Rhode Island. So here we go. I knew that Rhode Island was the smallest state, but I did not realize it is from north to south 48 miles and from east to west 37 miles. That's a really small state. It has it's very small, but it has 384 miles of shoreline, including its 35 islands. That's interesting. The person that founded Rhode Island, he was quite the rabble-rouser. Roger Williams was kicked out of Minnesota in 1636, and he established Rhode Island, went there and established Rhode Island because he felt there wasn't enough religious freedom in Minnesota, and he got quite vocal about it, and then they got quite adamant that he should go elsewhere. So that's how we ended up with Rhode Island. As a result, we have America's first Baptist church was built in Rhode Island in 1700, and the oldest standing synagogue in the United States was built in 1759. Rhode Island is also home to Brown University, which was established in 1774. That was the first American college to accept students regardless of their religious affiliation. A lot of diversity there. That's pretty interesting. Rhode Island has the first indoor shopping mall, catch this, built in 1828, 130 years before our modern shopping malls opened. It is now a historic landmark and contains 48 tiny apartments. And this is a really cool one. I like this. Rhode Island was the first state to enact a homeless Bill of Rights. In 2012, legislation banned discrimination from jobs, housing, and services based on housing status. Also granted access to public spaces like sidewalks and subways for homeless people, as well as an expectation to privacy equal to that of people that have homes. So it sounds like a lot of people in Rhode Island caring about those who are less fortunate and doing something about it. So let's hold the people of Rhode Island in our hearts, knowing they want the same things in their lives that we want in ours. They want peace, they want security, and they want to share the things that they have, which is awesome. And so we open our hearts and we send them our good energy, and we bless them and we say these words together. May peace prevail in Rhode Island. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail in me. So, David Roth. Actually, Scott and I cheated this week. We looked at David's videos early. And I'll just say that David is not joining us from David Roth World Headquarters up north. He is joining us from sunny California. And these are different. They're very personal and beautiful, and I'm not going to say anything else about them, but when we watched them, we were both had tears. Yeah, they're really good. So that's David. All right, Dean and Judi are Baha'i representatives. We always enjoy their talks. They tag team very well, and I have been so impressed from the beginning. From the beginning of when we started learning about the Baha'i faith from Dean and Judi. The videos and the things that they show that the Baha'is put out there, their educational materials are just amazing. They're very beautiful, well done, entertaining, educational, and Dean and Judi are just exceptional teachers. So an interesting thing about the Baha'i faith is there are no leaders. There are just people that are Baha'is, and they all take their role, whatever that is. And one of their big things is service. So it's going to be real interesting to see what the Baha'is say about community today. So enjoy, and we'll see you on the other side.
Good morning, everybody. David Roth here. I might look a little grainy because I'm not broadcasting from my usual world headquarters of David Roth Music up in New England on Cape Cod where I live, but I'm out here in Los Angeles for the next while. my elderly mom needs a little support, and I'm here to be that for her. So I get to play this first song on my childhood piano. My mom bought this when I was a kid. She was a professional big band singer in our hometown of Chicago, and I never saw her play it that much. But years later I said, "Mom, why'd you get that piano?" And she said, "I got it because I hoped you would go to it one day." And here we are. Let's sing. Here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all. I am here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all. Sing that with me. I am here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all. Here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all. You are here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all. You are here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all. We are here. We are here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all, the greater good of all. We are here for the greater good of all, the greater good of all. You sing one. And here we are over at the guitar. I just turned 90 degrees so you can see a little bit of that piano I was talking about. It's an acrosonic made by Baldwin. And here is a song I wrote with my friend Glenn Rothell, a song about gratitude. Boy, I sure have a lot. How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways? Given the chance, I'm gonna tell you how. How many ways can I give thanks for the blessings I have known? I got a list and I will tell you how. Grateful for each breath awake, grateful for each step I take, grateful that I'm here to play my part. Grateful for the morning sun, grateful when the day is done, grateful that I have you in my heart. How many ways can I give praises for all the gifts I have? Given the chance, I'm gonna shout out loud. Grateful for this universe, for the better and the worse. Grateful that this world keeps spinning round somehow. Grateful for my memories, grateful for my hopes and dreams, grateful for the blessings I have found. How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways, that's our part. How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways, keep going on that. How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways, just keep going. How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways I am grateful now. 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 I am grateful. How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways I am grateful now. How many ways I am grateful now. I am grateful now. I am grateful now. I am grateful now.
Hello, visitors to the pod, wherever you may be. This is Dean of Dean and Judi here in Melbourne, Florida. Judi is doing background choreography for this episode, so you probably will not see her. You'll simply know the effects of the work that she's doing. And we're happy to be here to talk about community and community building, which is a vitally important aspect of the Baha'i community. After all, the Baha'i writings tell us this is the day of the ingathering of all humankind. So that means community. And that's a lofty idea. And I'm going to start out talking about some lofty ideas, and then I'm going to talk about their implementation and practice in a couple of ways. First, we like to intermix different videos giving different perspectives and different aspects. I'm going to show you a brief introduction to the Baha'i faith, which fortuitously very much leads us into the topic of community building.
In just over 160 years, the Baha'i faith has grown from an obscure movement in the Middle East to the second most widespread religion in the world, embracing people from more than 2,000 ethnic, racial, and tribal groups. Its unity challenges prevailing notions about human nature and our common future. Here in America, there are more than 150,000 Baha'is. They share a belief that peace can be established through unity and an appreciation for diversity. Across the country, Baha'is are putting this vision into action at the local level. They are partnering with their neighbors and bringing together people of all ages and backgrounds to create more vibrant, empowered communities. Baha'u'llah proclaimed the unity of religious truth, which has unfolded over time through a succession of divine teachers. He taught that Abraham, Moses, Christ, and Muhammad were all messengers of God. Each brought to light religious and spiritual truths, which propelled the evolution of civilization. Baha'i teachings also count Krishna, Buddha, and Zoroaster among the prophets of God. Baha'u'llah confirmed the oneness of humankind and stressed the need to eliminate prejudice of every kind.
I hope you found that to be edifying. I do want to correct one thing that speaker said, in the sense that she made the point that all the peoples of the world, or that she named many manifestations or messengers of God, but the fact is, in Baha'i belief, all the peoples of the world have been visited, have received divine guidance throughout the ages. It is simply that in many cases we don't have traces of them. We don't have any record. want to make a couple of other points before I get started into the subject of community building. First off, the Baha'i faith is a faith of the word. We draw our ideas from the writings of the Baha'i faith, so I'm going to read some of them to you because that's where our ideas come from. And the second, related to the first, is that the Baha'is take action based on spiritual principle. So I'm going to talk about the main principle of the Baha'i faith, which is the oneness of humanity, and talk about a couple of the multitudinous ramifications of this principle that lead us to the possibility and the means whereby Baha'is can play a central role in inspiring community building among humanity. The first notion that I want to mention is that for the first time in human history, the teaching of the oneness of humanity has been expressed in a revealed religion. And what this means really is that in the past, religions couldn't have done what we can now do as a humanity, for the simple reason that they didn't consider everybody as one. The Abdu'l-Baha, one of the founders of the Baha'i faith, expresses the fact that in all religious teachings of the past, the human world has been represented as divided into two parts, one known as the people of the book of God or the pure tree, and the other the people of infidelity or error of the evil tree. The former were considered as belonging to the faithful and the others to the hosts of the irreligious and infidel. And he goes on to comment on this. Baha'u'llah removed this by proclaiming the oneness of the world of humanity. And this principle is specialized in his teachings, for he has submerged all mankind in the sea of divine generosity. So what this implies, what this makes possible, is that the Baha'is all over the world are working on building communities with all sorts of people without any regard whatsoever as to their religious affiliation or their desire to be affiliated with the Baha'i faith. This is one of many ways in which the Baha'i faith is not a congregation. It is, in fact, a worldwide community. The other aspect of the teaching of oneness of humanity that makes community building possible has to do with the relation of peoples one to another, and it actually makes possible the idea of worldview. Baha'u'llah, the Baha'i writings talk about this. They talk about, in this way, consider the flowers of a garden, though differing in kind, color, form, and shape, yet inasmuch as they are refreshed by the waters of one spring, revived by the breath of one wind, invigorated by the rays of one sun, this diversity increaseth their charm and addeth unto their beauty. And he goes on to say, thus, when this diversity, this difference is like unto the naturally created dissimilarity and variety of the limbs and organs of the human body, for each one contributeth to the beauty, efficiency, and perfection of the whole. And goes on to say that when diversity of hues, form, and shape enricheth and adorneth the garden, and heighteneth the effect thereof, in like manner, when diverse shades of thought, temperament, and character are all brought unto the power and influence of one central agency, the beauty of and glory of human perfection will be revealed and made manifest. There's more to this passage, which I was skipping through rather awkwardly with my technology, but the point is that humanity, this notion of the oneness of humanity, tends to be kind of sound lofty and sound impracticable, but in fact it's very practical and has very specific implications. And the reason I like this passage is it makes possible the idea of different worldviews. We in Europe, of European origin, have had our worldview, our rather mechanistic and material-oriented worldview, dominating the planet for centuries, to the point where many people consider it to be the only worldview there is. In fact, there are other worldviews. The worldview of the native peoples of America, the worldview of the native peoples of Africa, which tend to be much more holistic in character. no one worldview is sufficient in and of itself. We need them all, as that passage I read a minute ago indicates. We need all the elements to make the garden beautiful. So the Baha'is have been involved in building communities for a long time, and most especially now for about the last 20 years. And we're going to talk about the nature of these community building endeavors and show you a couple videos about them. The notion is that these efforts are more successful when people of color, people of other worldviews other than our European worldview, are dominating. And they tend to also to be more successful in areas where materialism is less prevalent. These forces are very much in the way of community building. So as it is, the community building involves the idea that our problems in this planet are spiritual. They are not material. We have plenty of resources materially to solve all the problems we face as individual neighborhoods, countries, and a world. What we don't have is the spiritual principles that we are following to put those resources into practice, to make them available to everybody. There are certain, according to the Baha'i teachings, activities which are fundamental to the life of a community. We call them core activities. All communities need to be involved in these core activities steadily and to increasing numbers of participants. So for a community to be a community, to have the ability to have its spiritual core, its spiritual foundation in place, and then from there move on to resolving its social problems, people must get together to pray. Whatever that prayer looks like, however they pray, however that communion is, whatever form it takes, that is an essential core activity of community life. Another core activity of community life is the education of children. Children need to be educated spiritually, learn about their reality. A third activity that is core, you'll hear this term mentioned and it's a little odd, junior youth. It simply relates to the population. Basically, we would call them junior high school students or young adolescents. This population that is rapidly transitioning from childhood to adulthood. And the Baha'i faith has a very different viewpoint of them than does the rest of society. And they have become a great catalyst for change. And finally, and so those people, those junior youth need a program that will help them to realize their nobility and to overcome the destructive forces that materialism has out there for them, to entrap them and ensnare them in all kinds of ideas that are not healthy and not going to lead to their advancement. Finally, the fourth of these core activities that all communities need to be engaged in is study. We need to be engaged together in the spiritual study of reality, and that study needs to be combined with service, so that as we learn, we then gain the ability to provide service to the community, first in small ways, then in larger ways. Once these core activities are in place and the numbers of people traversing this process are steady and increasing, then that community has the spiritual foundation it needs to remedy its social ills, to work at dealing with the all manner of social ills that we face on the planet. One man I heard the other day said something very interesting, and it really made sense. He said that basically civilization is now being rebuilt at the level of the neighborhood. This community building process is being conducted, some places more successfully, some less, again, depending largely on the presence of materialism. The less materialistic, the more successful it has the potential to be. And it is going on throughout the world. And people are beginning to solve, and it's happening at the neighborhood level. This neighborhood process is really an unstoppable process. It is government proof. Those governments that have wanted to stop it really can't. It is hurricane proof here in Florida. In fact, it's the best thing in the case of a hurricane to have people in your neighborhood helping each other. And those are just two examples. So this community building process, and everybody can be involved at any level that you choose to be involved with, whether it be through taking part in what we call devotional gatherings, which are gatherings for prayer, communion, or in study, or in teaching of children and junior youth. I'm going to show you two videos. They're short videos that highlight this community building process. And then after that, I'm going to come back and talk about a rather unusual aspect of civilization building that is involved with this, that is really distinctive and offers great hope to humanity in the future.
For the last 2 decades, the Baha'i world has been involved in a systematic process of community building, a global process involving communities all over the world that are striving to put into practice the teachings of the Baha'i faith. And this is a very complex process. How do you take what's been revealed in the sacred scriptures and translate them into a concrete social reality? The quote from Baha'u'llah regarding children is, "Regard man as a mine rich in gems of inestimable value. Education can alone cause them to reveal their treasures." So that implies an orientation where we see every human being as a noble soul endowed with these qualities and capacities that need to be unlocked through encouragement and through training and education. Now, when you reach the junior youth group age, a lot of people think of that age group as a troublesome group, so you're just waiting for them to grow up. But in the Baha'i faith, that cohort is seen as an extremely powerful group of people that can really drive the transformation of a whole society, because they're not invested in the old ways of doing things. And they can grasp big spiritual concepts and then observe their reality and see where the disconnects are. Once these kids become 15 and up, they go into a sequence of courses, each of which focuses on a particular aspect of Baha'i community life or Baha'i service. So if you want to be a children's class teacher, you can do a training program for that. If you want to foster the devotional character and the devotional life of your community, you can do some training about that. So this approach of connecting the study and deepening into the Baha'i writings with service and with transformation is really embedded throughout the life of a Baha'i. So you don't see a dichotomy between your Baha'i life and your professional life or your family life.
So to try to bring all this together, there is a working, vibrant system for community building going on all over the planet. It is bringing the principle of the oneness of humanity to play in the smallest and largest towns, cities, neighborhoods on the planet. All people are able to make their contribution as is befitting for them to this process, and then to draw from it their sustenance, just like in the quotation I read about the human organism. Every cell contributes and every cell draws sustenance from it. And increasingly, this community building process will have physical manifestations in the terms of the civilization changing Mashriq Al-Azkars, that will eventually, there will be one in every town, village, and hamlet on the planet, where there will be a house of worship at the center of activity, and then surrounding that will be other institutions providing benefit and service to the people of the town, village, or hamlet where it's located. So we'd like to end, as we often try to do, with a prayer with some beautiful pictures associated with it, so that you have a feast for the eyes as well as a feast for the spirit. And we look forward to talking to those who wish. Those who are listening on Sunday morning will be around for the deep dive, and you can always find Baha'i communities wherever you are, should you wish to do so, and you can take part in this community building process to the extent that you wish, whatever form that process takes wherever you are. So thank you very much for viewing and listening, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Hallelujah, Baha'u'llah. Hallelujah, Totosa. 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 Hallelujah, Baha'u'llah. Hallelujah, Totosa.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. As per usual, David, and as Becky alluded to, we already knew. Amazing, brother. Thank you very much for always bringing your heart and for participating in this process with us. We are very grateful for your presence. Dean and Judi, thank you. You guys are so heartwarming, so grounded, so heartfelt in everything that you do. We are grateful for your excited participation from the very beginning. We just really appreciate your support and encouragement. Thank you for being a part of this with us. Philip Lupo, the man behind the curtain. He just makes it look like it's easy, and I'm sure it's just a crazy, chaotic mess when it gets to him. In fact, I know it is. And he just turns it into this beautiful thing. So if you need audio-visual support, whether it be virtual or in person, please contact Philip, and he will take care of all of the things that you might need in that area. Deep dive following from 11:45 to precisely 12:15. So as not to steal any of your afternoon. And we get to see each other and connect and ask questions and talk and share and visit. So please join us for that. And of course, the service itself is replayed at 6 o'clock with prelude at 5:45 to gather everyone together. And that's what we pin to the top of the page so that you can venture back and rewatch or send friends back. And again, in that live list, in those drop downs across the top of those Facebook pages, all of the talks in chronological order are available there as well. I think that's all I know.
That's a lot. Again, we ask you, if you feel so moved, to go to www.peopleofdiversity.org and make a donation. Weekly, monthly tithe are great, regular tithes, or a one-time donation, that's great too. And we want to take just a moment right now to take a breath and say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for the abundance that comes to the pod. Thank you for the abundance that the pod sends out into the world. The love, the blessings, all of the peace and the fun. And we appreciate it. And we are so blessed. And we are so grateful. And we say, amen.
Amen.
Okay, don't leave. One more thing. I want to do our energetic healing circle. This is where we as a community get together and you can feel your energy, take your energy and send it out from your body and send it out into the world. You can picture someone or a situation that you feel like needs healing and concentrate on that. Or you can just send it out to the world in general, because we can all use it. And also open yourself up, because all your brothers and sisters, we're all doing this and we're doing it together. So join us in this just for this next couple of minutes while we listen to this beautiful David Nemod song. And just relax and enjoy it. And we will see you immediately after the service in the deep dive. And we'll see you tonight for a replay of this service. And we'll see you next week for Muslim Nuran Sykes. And y'all have a good week. It's already March. Here we go.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and just see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and just speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love.